What's up, guys? Ed O'Reilly back here again with more interview tips. Step 3, the questions you should be prepared for and how to answer them for the best interview you possibly can do. When you walk into an interview, first thing you need to be prepared for is understanding yourself and your resume. You need to be able to walk the interviewer through the process as to why you move from job to job, because the first question they're going to want to ask you is, why have you moved from different companies? You need to create a narrative as to what the reasons were behind your movement. If you're moving for more money, that's not an acceptable answer. You need to create a better narrative as to why you move from company to company. And every time you move, you should be looking at something in terms of, how are you gaining from this opportunity? What are you building in terms of a skill set? What type of opportunity are they giving you to grow and to gain something rather than just financial? I mean, understandable. We all want to make more money. There's nothing wrong with that. But we don't want to tell people in an interview that. That's something they don't want to hear. So you need to be able to go through your resume, understand, articulate back to them, and explain why you made moves from one company to another, and try to make a valid justification as to what you were going or what you were gaining in. You also need to be able to come up with examples as to challenges that you've encountered and how you've overcome those challenges. You should look back at your career and be able to come up with specific ideas of something that was very hard, some task that you felt that maybe went sideways, and how you recovered from it. But you're going to need to be able to answer questions along those answers. Also, significant achievements. You should be able to articulate something that you've done that was overwhelming, something that was really wonderful, something you're very proud of. It should be something you genuinely are proud of, but you should be prepared to answer something that you've come up with in terms of an achievement in your career that you can articulate back to the interviewer. They'll ask you what motivates you. What's the reason you want this job? Again, you need to tie back in to your history and your track record as to, first of all, what skills you have that are applicable to this job, why you have the skills to take that job, but also what about that job is going to challenge you? What else is going to motivate you in terms of being there, and finding something inside that job description that you want to grow with or you want to learn is something that will only benefit you and certainly intrigue the interviewer. You should be prepared to answer questions about your biggest weakness. We all have them. Obviously, we don't want to go out there and talk about all our negatives in front of the interviewer, but you should try to find something that, maybe people say that they have a difficult time leading a group of people. So you should be able to say, I've had a difficult time leading a group of people in the past. However, in this instance, here's a situation where I've had to work on that and I've overcome that weakness, and something that I've turned a weakness into a strength. So find something that you would find as something that was a flaw in your background that you've worked to overcome, and something you've used specifically to enhance and strengthen in your background. You also need to be able to really build a story as to where you see yourself within the next 5 years. Now, obviously, you don't want to come in with a perspective, you're meeting your manager saying, hey, I'm looking to take your job. Now, obviously, we all want to ascend in our careers. There'd be no other reason to move to another job. However, what you do need to say to them is explain that, look, I'm humble. I'm coming in here for the opportunity. I understand this can take a long time and a lot of process for me to come here and prove myself. But what I hope to see myself in 5 years is a better version of where I am today, working inside this organization. And hopefully, at that point in time, my skill sets and my hard work and my work ethic will have proven true as to rewarding me in terms of promotion within the organization. But you want to frame it around an opportunity to be in that same organization, but also show them that you want ascension, but you're not looking to go in there to take their job. One other thing I want to throw back at you guys as well is we had a question from our mailbag. Someone sent an email in asking me a question as to how to answer a certain situation. Feel free to do so as well. Email me at ed@cybersearchglobal.com. But the question comes from Nicole Gomes, and she asked me, what do you do when you walk into an interview and you get nervous? How would you handle it? The first thing that you have to think about is in nature that we have the flight or fright syndrome. So you have to think about when in nature, if in history, if a bear was attacking us, the first thing we'd probably do is freeze up or run away. So oftentimes when we're in very scary situations or situations that are a bit overwhelming, we get nervous and we tense up. And the first thing that happens is our breathing gets very shallow. And when the breathing gets shallow, your heart rate goes up and automatically you start to get nervous. So what you need to do is you need to start taking deeper breaths and make sure you inhale and exhale. And you don't want to be like in front of the interviewer, but as you walk in the interview, try to take a few deep breaths. Really try to settle yourself down, because the deeper you breathe, the more responsive your body is going to be relaxing. So you want to make sure you try to do that. So that's the best thing you do. Also, preparing for the interview is the next way to do it, because the more you prepare, the more you're ready for questions like this. Looking at our interview series here, you're going to learn the tips, and the more you practice it, the more you put that practice into play, the more comfortable you'll become with answering the difficult questions at the interview, and that should naturally put you at ease. Anyway, here's a few tough questions to look forward to in the interviews. If you have any questions, please reach out to me at any time, ed@cybersearchglobal.com. Catch us on our blog at the Ozone at cybersearchglobal.com. Check us on Instagram, Twitter, basically all social media platforms. Look forward to seeing you next time. See you next Tuesday. Bye.